people of YouTube. Iceman Baldy here with the Polaroid OneStep2 by Polaroid Originals, which you may know is the company who bought the rights to the Polaroid name, the Impossible Project. People of YouTube, Iceman Baldy here with a review, or not a review, just a box opening at this point of the Polaroid Originals OneStep2. You might know that the Impossible Project, the company that reinvented Polaroid film by buying the very last Polaroid factory and then coming up with a new chemistry to remake the iconic film under the Impossible Project name, bought the rights to the Polaroid name, and I'm assuming some of the intellectual property, and has now introduced what is called the OneStep2, a shout out to the iconic Polaroid one-step camera using their I-type camera, the Polaroid, or not the Polaroid, the Impossible One as the basis for the OneStep2. So mine came in the mail today. I'm going to open it up and give you a sense of what it looks like. I apologize for not having my knife to properly open the box. I'm going to have to use the edges of the fingernails that I barely have to try to get these adhesive circles off the sides of the box without ripping up the box by much, because I like to keep my boxes in fairly pristine condition so that once a new camera comes out or some new toy that catches my fancy, either by way of upgrade or just getting rid of to finance a new purchase, I find that having my boxes, all the original documentation and paperwork in as pristine order as I can and condition just enhances the resale value and demonstrates to prospective buyers that I've taken good care of my stuff, and they can expect to get a decent and well regarded product in terms of not being abused when they make the purchase from me. So got that open finally. Let's take a look at what's in this box. All right, you see we've got the OneStep2 camera facing upward here in the box. We'll just grab the plastic, pull that out. I opted for the black version. I don't see much else. Oh, there we go. In the box, got some cords there, carrying strap, and that's the extent of the box contents, with some of the iconic rainbow branding that is characteristic of what we know of the Polaroid brand. So let's put the box away and see what we've got. So there's the camera. Got what appears to be a camera strap. The charging cord. What you may not know is that unlike old Polaroid cameras and the Polaroid film that those cameras used, this camera comes with a rechargeable battery, and you charge the battery via micro USB. What that does is that eliminates the need for film, which in the original Polaroid film, the battery was included with the film. So every time you opened up a cartridge, you had a small battery inside that powered the film pack. The camera itself had no need for batteries, as every battery was included with the film. That led to a bit of waste, and I've got a number of old Polaroid film cartridges that have the battery included with them. In fact, I'll go grab one right now. Here you see one of the film cartridges. This is from the Impossible Project. The film is all gone, but here on the back you can see the battery terminals. As far as I know, this cartridge still has some power, but there's nothing that I can do with those batteries in this cartridge. The new film cartridges don't have the battery, and so the cost of making the film has been reduced by that much more because the battery is not included. And I'm told that the battery in this camera, the rechargeable battery, and here you can see the micro USB port there on the back, provides for a number of charges to get you through a number of film packs, and hopefully the standby time on this camera is much better than the standby time that I have on my Impossible 1 camera. Not a through the lens viewfinder, so there might be some parallax. It's just an optical viewfinder that gives you a sense of what you're looking at. And it's just essentially just a point and shoot camera with a built-in flash. So we're going to load a film cartridge and see how well this camera fires off. And we'll also at some point do a comparison of this camera to the Impossible 1 to see if the battery's better and what kind of pictures we get from this camera. A couple other things by way of comparison. I'll move the camera out of the way here. Got the user manual and a nice Polaroid Originals sticker. Very nice. I've also got the Impossible I-1, excuse me. This was Impossible's version of a new age Polaroid camera. I love the styling. It features Bluetooth technology and has a ring flash with this unique magnetically attached viewfinder. So a very novel kind of a camera and design, but you can kind of see that the OneStep2 has taken essentially the same body design and then bolted, or not bolted, but developed a facing that reminds you of the iconic cameras of old. I don't have a OneStep. I've got a number of Polaroid Sun cameras and SX70s, the folding type. But this looks like it might be kind of fun. So we'll compare what I get from this camera to what I get from this camera. This camera, I love the design. I hate this viewfinder. I just don't like that top mounted thing. And you've got to align two dots here, a dot on the back and then a dot inside the front facing window to compose your shot. It's just a bit awkward. I do like the app that comes with the camera, and by turning the camera down to the Bluetooth setting, you can then use your phone to wirelessly compose shots, do a number of things by way of manual settings and the like. And then you've got exposure compensation here on the side with the ring flash, which in my opinion doesn't really project far enough for this camera. But this was the first new age Polaroid camera, and with the Impossible project, or now Polaroid Originals, releasing this OneStep2, this is the second camera building on that history of the first. I'm curious as to this on and off switch. I think that's probably for the flash. But I think aside from that, you've got exposure control here, negative or lighter. This must be the electronic eye that helps with exposure. Not sure if this is flash distance there, and then of course the shutter button. And this is how you would eject, or not eject, but load the film in the camera. It uses the I-type 600, and the I-type film is what I have here. And as you saw on that first cartridge that I showed you, where we had the batteries resident in the cartridge, this cartridge has no batteries. So I-type film without batteries, and those Polaroid or Impossible Project 600 film that's got the two battery terminals. This film is less expensive. I believe that these cartridges, for the most part, sold for about $24 for 8 exposures. I think this film is selling for more like $16 or $18 for the same set of exposures. Still expensive, but certainly much less expensive than the Impossible remake of the film, given that you don't have the batteries included in the film. A little better for the environment that way. And certainly given some of the improvements in the film, I'm hoping that we see some differences there. This is not the newest film. This is the I-type black and white film that was released when this camera came out, because this camera is also rechargeable. You can see the charging port here on the front. The OneStep2 featured a brand new film that I hope is even further optimized than the I-type film that came with this camera when it was released. Let me see if I can't find the new film and show that to you. And here we have the I-type black and white film, the newer version. Again, you can kind of see the packaging from Impossible Project to Polaroid Originals. I'm told that this film has better contrast and should develop faster. So I'm going to take a shot, a couple shots of some things with the I-type black and white that came out with the Impossible I-1 camera, along with the new Polaroid Originals I-type film that has been released now with the OneStep2. So that's it for now. Just a quick box opening and comparison of the Impossible I-1 with the Polaroid Originals OneStep2. So that's it for now. Iceman Baldy out, and look forward to my next video, which will show some of the film differences between what you get in terms of picture quality with these two cameras.